Today on the pod, we've got an interior design business based in the Cotswolds. They've been going a few years, and up until this point, they've done absolutely no marketing whatsoever. They're coming on to pick my brains on what they should be doing and how they should be doing it. Looking forward to this one. Let's get into it. Welcome to Grow with Evergreen, the podcast designed to help you grow your business by providing practical insights into all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy. Every episode, we help home, garden, and lifestyle brands with their growth challenges by delving into their business, dissecting what they're doing, and defining a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. Let's get into it. Right, welcome back, beautiful people. I hope you're all doing well. We're talking interior design today, which is going to be good fun. It's a lovely little business based down in a beautiful part of the world, in the Cotswolds, no less, Gloucestershire to be specific. The business is called Crittall Interiors. It's our guest today is Alice. We had a quick chat before we came on air. She's been going for a little while. It's a very small business, a bit of a sort of a kitchen worktop kind of vibe is the impression I get. She's doing a few £1,000s turnover a month, can work on no more than a handful of projects at any one time. And one of the things I was surprised to learn in our little chat is that a project for Alice can last up to a couple of years. You know, she could be working with someone, which I suppose makes sense when you think about the entire interior design process end to end. She can work with someone over a 2 or 3 month period, and some projects will go on for months and even years. So how does that work when you're thinking about obviously maintaining and keeping those client relationships strong and focusing on those, but also thinking about new business? And to my surprise, this is a business that's grown to where it is so far, having done no marketing. It's just pure good old fashioned word of mouth, referrals and recommendations. And that's amazing. And that's how most of us get started. It certainly is how I got started. And most of you listening will be able to resonate with that. The problem is that only takes you so far. At some point, you need to start thinking about marketing, particularly at the moment. It's a tough market out there. So what does she need to do? How does she need to do it? It's going to be an interesting one. Now, I've had a look at her website before, and there's a few things that have jumped out at me, and I've made a few notes of a few things that I want to go through. And we'll bring her on, and Alice can tell us more about her business and how she got to where she is, and some of her sort of key challenges. I'll give you a little flavour, whet your appetite. So she's got 3 or 4 team members, but she's using contractors, so freelancers at the moment. Her biggest marketing challenge is knowing where to invest, you know, what to do basically, because as we've heard so many times on the podcast, from startups through to established businesses, there are so many things you could do, and seemingly you haven't got to look far to be told that this is the right thing. Oh, this is the right thing. Oh, you should be doing this. Oh, you must do that. Actually, there's only 24 hours in the day, and we need to sleep at some point. So what should we be focused on? Budget is a big sort of challenge. How many of us can relate to that? And then finding contacts. You know, for her, good referrals are going to be gold. So I've got some ideas on that. No marketing spend at the minute. She's doing absolutely nothing with it, with her marketing. And one of the big things that I'm going to be getting straight into as soon as we bring Alice on is we always ask on the podcast applications, we always say, what does the business look like when it's finished? And the reason we ask that is because I think it's incredibly important that you know what you're trying to build. And Alice's answer to that was, I don't see this as ever being something that's finished. That's the wrong answer. That's not good enough, because ultimately you need to have a really good sense of what you're trying to build, and that will just give you a good steer in as much as it will help you make better decisions. It was for me when I really started to think about, okay, what does Evergreen look like when it's finished, quote unquote. Doesn't mean we're just going to hang up our boots and go and retire, but having an end goal of what this looks like in 5 years, 10 years, means you make better marketing and business decisions. And it's why we asked that question. I think it's really, really important. And then she's got some questions on what, you know, specifically what she should be doing. And she said she's come armed with lots of questions of things she wants to ask me. So we're going to bring her on and we're going to get into it. And as I said, this is somewhat unusual because I think in all of the time we've been doing the Grow with Evergreen podcast, we've only probably had 3 or 4 true kind of startup small businesses on. We don't get that many on, do we?
No, we don't. Hello, by the way.
Oh, hello. Here. There you are. There he is. There he is. I was just building. I was just doing the tease. I was just building up, setting the scene, and then I was going to bring you in and say, there he is with these sultry tones in the background. How are you doing, Dan? You well?
Here. Always watching.
There you go. That doesn't sound creepy at all. You good? How's things?
Yeah, really good.
What's the latest in your world?
Well, just ads, including
Ads.
our own.
We have been working on our ads. Well, by the time this comes out, though,
It'll be gone.
It'll be an ad, a Christmas ad.
Yeah,
What are you talking about Christmas ad in the spring?
2025 Christmas.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, we're just ahead of the game.
Yeah.
But no, we've been doing that. Come on, give our listeners and viewers what have you been working on this week outside of our stuff?
Well, so this week we work across a whole array of clients, and as head of creative, I oversee all of that stuff that we do for our clients in the creative realm in ads.
Give us some specifics.
Well, so we've been working with a couple of brands this week. One was a bed linen brand.
Yep.
And a couple of weeks ago, we went away and filmed a shoot with them in an old mill, which was very exciting. And we've been putting together those ads. We've also been putting together ads for a shutters and blinds company. And that's been really interesting. We've had to get a little bit creative with some of that, which is always good. So it was a nice challenge.
Why?
Well, because we don't necessarily have the opportunity with that brand to necessarily go out and film. They don't have a location.
No stores there.
No stores. And so we had to sort of use what they had, which from a video point of view was
difficult.
Difficult.
Challenge. You love a challenge.
Yeah,
though.
I love it. It's great. And then another one, I could go on and on and on. I'll give you one more. Was one of our hot tub brands.
We love a hot tub.
And
we talk about hot tubs quite a lot.
We do.
We've got a couple of hot tubs clients.
And,
we're keen to get one or two more.
Yeah, we went down again, filmed in their showroom, had some nice models, and had a good time.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so you've been super
Don't
creative.
go.
So it is, isn't it? Just it's good. I like to give our viewers a little insight into what you get up to when you're not
busy.
When you're not sitting opposite me, which is most of your time.
Even when I'm sat here, for the moments I'm not. This is giving people a really big.
Oh,
insight.
go on. Oh,
for the moments I'm not talking.
Yeah.
I use this slot of my week to work on ads.
See, there you
because
go. There was me thinking he was loving what I'm saying.
I mean, so I've always got one ear on it in case you say something creative, and my ears do prick up every time I hear the word video.
There you go.
But I'm leveraging this time.
Yeah, see, just king of multitasking.
Because I don't always need to hear what I'm doing when I'm working on ads. At least in the beginning, I might add some music at the end. But at least to do a bit of a rough cut, I spend this time.
There you go.
Leveraging that time.
That is a true behind the scenes of the true that if anyone's ever watching our content, whether it's the pod or actually I'm going to do a plug for other stuff, but when you're watching our content, and I have had people reach out and go, how on earth are you doing as much as you're doing? Because we're getting out podcast every week, we're getting out tea talk every week, we're getting out tea break now, our new newsletter and Uncut, and people have said to me, how on earth are you doing all of that stuff? There you go. That is a true insight of we're making one thing while recording another.
Yeah, we're working smarter, not harder.
Yes, while I'm talking about this, I'm also working on auditing an account. No, I'm not. That would be multitasking, wouldn't it?
That would be insane.
That would be crazy. Right, do you know what time it is? You know what we should be doing?
I do indeed.
What time is it?
Oh.
There it is.
It's time for a paid media mystery.
Come on then, go for it.
So I am going to premise this one.
Okay.
Because you've told me off before about using dollars instead of pounds.
Okay.
But
go on.
There's a good reason why I'm using dollars instead of pounds. I will give you the answer in pounds for this as well, but it would be almost impossible for you to guess it in pounds because it's so specific.
I mean, my track record to this point is not great because you give me really hard ones with vast numbers.
The answer for this in dollars is a really, really, really round number.
Okay.
And the reason why it's in dollars, you'll understand, is because Google is an American company.
It is.
So
come on then, hit me with it. Go on.
The question.
Yes.
Talking about Google Ads campaigns.
Yes.
What is the maximum daily budget for a Google Ads campaign? What's the max you can spend? Daily budget. I'll give you a hint. It's high.
It's got to be a big number in it.
It's very round.
That is a big hit. I'm still going to get it wrong. The maximum daily. Well, okay, so I'm going to use a bit of logic
Dr.
here.
Evil.
Is it okay? Well, is it in that case? Is it $1 million?
It is. It's $1 million.
Is it $1 million?
Yes.
Wow. I was actually going to go higher than that.
Wow. Okay.
Because I thought the last one you threw me with it being 10,000 to 1,000.
Yeah.
And so I was going to go 10 million.
I gave you a bit of a help there.
You did. That was I would have got that wrong. $1 million. Is it $1 million?
It is.
Wow.
And in
what's in the UK then?
UK with the current exchange rate as of today is $1 is 0.7929 Great British pounds, means that $1 million comes in at a grand total of approximately, apparently, £792,900.
Wow. So they don't do it as like it's $1 million and then £1 million.
No, it's $1 million and then that converts into whatever currency you're using.
I didn't know that. That is a great.
And I did check that because when it told me $1 million, I was like, Aaron doesn't do dollars. So
we also don't spend anything like $1 million.
No, we don't.
A day.
No. So I checked to see if that was the same in pounds, or if it was £1 million as well. And no, it converts.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's a good. I think that's your best yet.
You're
getting better with each of these.
I'm learning.
You're getting better. That is, I like that. $1 million. There you go. That is a nugget. That is a proper pub quiz. There you go. Sort of down the. Anyone who's going down the pub, you're welcome. You can have that one. $1 million. Yeah, $1 million a day. I wonder if anyone's. I bet there are companies that are doing that.
Probably are. I bet there are companies who are thinking it's not enough.
Yeah. Well, it kind of does surprise me actually that does exist. If there isn't a way of getting around that, because there must be these massive companies that probably are.
Maybe there are, yeah.
I mean,
maybe they have more than one account.
Yeah, that'll be how you'd probably get around it. But yeah, because if think about it, there must be.
I think that's per campaign, though, isn't it?
No. Well, I don't know.
It says for a Google Ads campaign.
Blimey,
so
a campaign.
Whoa.
And okay, wow.
Did we have one on a couple of weeks ago where we talked about how many campaigns?
Yeah, that was, you said up
it was
to
10,000.
Okay,
so
wow.
10,000 times $1 million, that's what, 10 billion?
Something stupid like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So that does make more sense.
So you could spend $10 billion dollars a day. Which of course is impossible.
I mean, yeah, someone's probably started to do it. But so $1 million, wow, $1 million a day per campaign, and you can have up to 10. That's just crazy. No wonder Google was making, such stupid amount of money. That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, I mean, we don't have to worry about those kind of thresholds.
We don't.
We got. Take a few zeros off the end of that. Yeah. Just half the number of zeros. Yeah. We've got clients doing maybe, what's our max? I'm trying to think now. Have we got any clients doing? We have some clients doing over 1,000 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's we've got that. That's probably as high as we haven't got anyone. You can't add another zero to that.
We don't need more than that.
We don't need more than that. We're not greedy. We like working with our owner operator SMEs. That works for us. I love it. I wouldn't want to work with massive.
No, I wouldn't.
Big corporates like that. No, I like my little owner operator clients, doing 2, 3, 4, 5 million, that sort of size for the most part. We've got a few bigger, a few smaller, but that's our sort of sweet spot. They're like a warm cuddle.
It is.
Those ones. You can just pick up the phone and have a chat and get to the horse's mouth in terms of decisions as well.
Absolutely,
we've had this crazy idea. We want to film this, and they go, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
great, love it.
I love it.
Right, okay, amazing. Thank you for that. That was good. So Alice is our guest. Let's bring her on and get into this interior design business. Alice, are you there?
I'm here. Hi.
There you are. You're coming through loud and clear. How are you doing? Are you having a good day?
Lovely day. Thank you very much.
Fabulous. Yes, good. At the time of recording this week, a couple of days ago, we had snow. Did you have snow in the Cotswolds?
We did. Yeah, it's beautiful. But
did it actually settle?
It did. I think it was a kind of a morning on the first morning where it was really beautiful and settled down. But by the evening, it was all gone. And sadly, it's not here anymore.
There you go. Well, apparently, it's still really cold a couple of days later. But my wife said to me, she was like, oh, well, don't worry. It's going to go up to like 15 degrees tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I heard that too.
What's that about?
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
I think we might all know that it's related to the global situation. I don't know.
Well, there you go. Well, this pod's gone off topic, hasn't it? Right, interior design. That's what we're here to talk about. Alice, 30 seconds. Who? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your business. Over to you.
So I'm Alice Crittall, and my studio is Crittall Interiors, and I run a small design studio just outside of Stroud in Gloucestershire, where we primarily work with private individuals on their homes. Sometimes we do sort of commercial hospitality projects, but predominantly it's residential design. And I've been working in the industry for 13 years, sort of, earned my stripes working for some big London studios, with sort of, really beautiful, amazing, complex projects. And then about 7 years ago, decided it would be time to remove myself from the big city and come back to the countryside, which I love. And I've been here, for 7 years, and kind of doing my own studio for coming up to 4 years.
See?
Yeah.
I love it. And you love what you do? You love it?
I love what I do. Absolutely, yeah.
We are in a minority, and I mention that because I think, if you love what you do, we're very lucky, because I love what I do. Darren loves what he does. And if you love what you do, I think it's... we're in the minority. I think, we should be very grateful for that, because there's a lot of people that can't say that they love what they do. So well done you, and well done us. It's the first thing. Now, so one thing I said at the top, but I want to sort of I want to skip all your challenges and we'll come back to those. What does this business look like when it's finished?
Yeah, I think there might have been a slight misunderstanding about that question. Because...
Go on then. Tell us, what does it look like?
Well, so my read of the question was like that it's got like an end point where I don't do it anymore, but listening to your intro, that's obviously not what you mean. I don't see a day where I decide I'm not going to do this anymore, because, as I said, I love it, and and I live and breathe it, and I think about it instinctively. So if I'm thinking about the question in a different way, what does it look like when it's kind of got to the point where I'm like, this is the business in its entirety?
Yes. Yeah.
Which I suspect is what that means. I've sort of been developing ranges of furniture through the projects that I do, and I think ultimately the end goal would be to have a studio with sort of fixed employees, not the kind of setup that I've got now. It's still very much a growing business. But I've got a lovely studio space. I'm already outgrowing it, so I'm looking around for bigger premises, and I think that's, the ultimate goal for me is to have a team of incredibly wonderful, talented designers that I know are out there, who are really equally passionate about the work that they do, and where we can also kind of focus on developing our own range of products a little bit more, where we kind of use sustainable materials and local artisan makers. It's something that's built into the business already, but I think it's kind of making that a real thing. I think
that makes sense. I think it makes sense. And the reason we ask that question is we position it as when it's finished, to kind of get you think whether most people sort of go, in 5 years my business wants to be this, or in 10 years it needs to be this, or in 20 years it needs to be this. And I think trying to think like that is just a good thing. And I think it's something we, with our clients, we ask them, and we speak to them all the time about it. We say, well, what are we building? What's the, I liken it to getting in a car, you need a destination in mind, otherwise you just go around in circles. So I think when we're building a business, particularly in those early stages, I know from my own experience, having a clear destination in mind of, okay, this is what I'm building, this is what it's going to look and feel like, just enables you to make better decisions, particularly when you start to think about how I'm going to market this. Because, we've had guests on the pod where they only want to get it up to a certain size. And so it's like, okay, so right, this is what I'm building. And based on where you want to go and how far you want to go and how big a business you want to build is really going to dictate, certainly from a marketing perspective, what I think you probably ought to do. And certainly the recommendations I'll make today on the pod is like what you would do. So that sounds good. Having, bigger premises, more team members that are on PAYE is good, makes sense. It's going to give you more security. Yeah. Do you have kind of financial targets in mind of like, I'd like to get this turnover wise to X level of revenue and profitability and so on? Do you have that mapped out?
I haven't got it mapped out other than in my head.
Okay. But can you give us a flavour of like how, just want to get a sense of how far do you want to go? How ambitious is Alice to, do you want to build a boutique or a big business? Like, where do you want to go with this?
I don't want a super big business. I don't, I've worked for really super big businesses, and it's not where I'm aligned with my values at all. And I think for me, it's really important to be able to be across the board on projects, and if I have a super big business, I will not be able to do that. Um, Part of the job, the reason why I love what I do is I get to work with clients, I get to be creative, I get to also then tap into the other side of my brain, which is a bit more kind of analytical, and wear lots of different hats, and that is something I want to continue doing. And I'm not driven, frankly, by making millions and millions. That's not my motivation factor in what I'm doing.
No, it makes sense, mate. But I think the more, one sort of recommendation, bit of advice I'd give is take yourself out of environment and actually take the time to get a pen and paper, like a physical pen and paper, and write down what you're building. I think that as an exercise, amazingly powerful to do. And it's sort of try and envisage it. How many team members, in 3 years, 5 years, whatever sort of timeline you want to put it, what does the business look and feel like? How many employees have you got? What are they doing? What are you doing, in your business day to day in 3 years from now, in 5 years from now? How many people do you employ? How many clients, are you working on at any one time? What level of turnover are you making? What's your PBA, your personal bank account number that you want to be, achieving on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis? Like understanding all of that stuff, it will enable you to better reverse engineer the marketing decisions you're going to make today and tomorrow and next week in terms of what you should and shouldn't be doing.
I've done those things. They're very much sort of part of when I was thinking about the branding and the business and where am I going. I've absolutely done these exercises before. I think it's then knowing how to translate that into a kind of marketing, into some kind of marketing, which is obviously where you're coming in today. Yeah.
Exactly that. But that's where we need to. So just give me an idea. Just give me a top line then in terms of business turnover. Now we're in those first few about 100K, that kind of level of turnover. Where do you want to get the business to?
Yeah. I mean, I think
turnover wise,
I think in terms of the kind of the scale that I want to grow it to, I think, a figure of a few million a year is reasonable in terms of being able to grow it at the rate that I would feel comfortable growing it. I don't want to kind of exponentially explode it overnight. No,
that's fine. And you're not, realistically, with most marketing, it's going to be incremental growth. With most of the marketing tactics, whether it's the paid media or your SEO or your content, rarely do you see it go from zero to hero overnight. But I think having it, and that's the important, because if you said, oh, I only want to take this up to, I want to get the business to doing 200,000 or 300,000, what I would be telling you to do is very different to if you say I want to do maybe, a million or two.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question. But if we're leaning towards the latter, fine. That's what I can give you very different recommendations than if you wanted to do the first, just a few 100,000. So, okay. Now at the minute then, you're doing no marketing. So you're not doing anything basically.
No, I don't know what it does. Social media quantify as any marketing or not really?
I mean, it's all marketing, isn't it? Why else are you doing any social media stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's organic social. So you're obviously active on your socials, yeah?
Yes.
Like your Instagrams and what's your favorite platform?
I would sort of rank it Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Facebook in that order.
Fine. And your clients, how local to you are they? Or are they, where for the most part, where are your clients?
The majority of them are through local contacts if they're further afield. So generally speaking, it's Gloucestershire, but I've also had a really wonderful, very long-term, kind of 3-year project in Monmouthshire in Wales, and I've also got a client up in Manchester, but she's someone I know through sort of Cotswold connections.
Okay, fine. So and so one of the things you put on your application was, where was it? Contacts who will benefit me in the best way. So how much of your work is coming from referrals right now?
A lot. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of 50-50. I mean, there's a bit through Google, but mainly it's word of mouth and Instagram.
Okay. And have you got any key introducers? Who's a good referral partner for you? Who would be a good introducer to you?
I don't know.
So what about, let's think. So if you're doing interiors, who else works when you're going into a project?
Yeah.
Who else is typically working or has been working on that same project as you?
Got you. I mean, obviously an architect would be somebody, but I find that usually when an architect is employed, they very much kind of have their own ownership of the project, and once they're done, they step away and they're kind of done with it. But yeah, I guess they could be.
So that's one of the things that the first thing I would be doing. I don't know if you've done this already, but thinking about who else is involved in the projects that you're involved in, either before you or after you or during the same time. Identifying those architects is an obvious one.
Yeah. Estate agents, I've got good connections with local estate agents, sort of higher end of the market.
All of that.
Buying agents, joinery companies, contractors, third party trades. I do have a sort of network of people in those fields that I.
And are these how much, these are going to, because a lot of them are going to come about organically through networking and stuff like that. But have you actively gone out to market and looked locally within an hour, 90 minutes of where you're based to find these key, these people that you maybe don't know, or maybe but from afar and you haven't spoken to them recently? I would be drawing up a little black book of contacts, expanding on those you already know, and then making a point of obviously connecting with them on your LinkedIns and so on. But then actually take it offline and, maybe send them letters or something through the post, and just making that introduction to just, this is who I am, this is what I do, I'm in your neck of the woods. Have you done anything like that?
I have, yes. Yeah.
So that sort of stuff, I would be doing that. When was the last time you did any of that?
Probably about 8 months ago or something. Yeah.
And what did you do? What sort of stuff did you do?
Just kind of just updating. So I've got a brochure that I send out to various people that outline our services and put some really nice images of projects, just that they can have something handy and beautiful that they can give to their clients who might be in need of some support with their interior design, renovation and treatment.
Yeah, I love that. I would definitely be doing that on maybe a couple of times a year. It's just keeping yourself top of mind, isn't it, with these folks?
Yeah.
And trying to do it in, as I say, brochure, just trying to do something, try and be, different, extraordinary in an ordinary world. Try and do things a little bit different. We've done a few things where when we're trying to get in front of our prospective clients, we just do things a bit different. We try and do things to stand out that they won't be expecting, just to try and interrupt them. And I think I would definitely be doing some of that, particularly because, as you say, there's not going to be a huge, probably 30, 40 key people that for you, that black book of contacts, and making sure that you are the interior designer they're going to think of within your area by just being a little bit different. I would definitely be doing that and making sure to do it at least a couple of times a year. So I think that's one thing I would definitely be doing. Now, when it comes to the website and sort of the paid media and the kind of that marketing stuff, there's a few things that I think are lacking or missing or could be improved upon. At the moment, who looks after the website? Is that yourself?
Yeah.
Right. So there's a couple of things on the website from a pure sort of aesthetic and optimization standpoint. The first is the homepage image. When you come onto the website, onto the homepage, which if anyone wants to go onto it, it's Crittall with a double T, double L, interiors.com. That image, if you could go onto your website, can you see that image is it's very deep. It's a very big image, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got no text on that image, no overlay. So you've got to do a fair bit of scrolling before you get to any of the content.
Okay, yeah.
Shorten that image up. Make it so that as a user, I don't have to scroll, because that's a lot of scrolling I've got to do before I find any information. So just from a pure optimization perspective, you could just shorten that up. And then the key way to think about optimizing your website for greater visibility would be to make sure that on every page, you say what you do and where you do it. At the moment, it's not really doing that. So your page title at the moment just says Crittall. So the page title on your website just says brand name. That's it. That's not actually, that's the most important tag on your website. And what it should be saying is interior design or interior designer in Cotswolds, Gloucestershire. However, I would do some keyword research in Google Search Console. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I mention that pretty much every episode. Google Search Console, I would look at that. Do more people search for Cotswolds or Gloucestershire or Stroud? I would imagine it's Cotswolds. Find how people search, and then I would be saying, this is what I do, and this is where I do it. And then I'd be reiterating that across the website.
Yeah.
because at the moment there's only there's no mention of the location in your page title, and there's only a single mention of your location on the whole of your homepage. So what that means is, essentially what that means is it's a limiting factor for Google's ability to go, oh, okay, Crittall Interiors, yeah, they do interior design and they're based in Cotswolds or Gloucestershire. And for people to find you locally through Google when they go on, I'm looking for a local interior designer, this, that and the other, by having those bits and pieces on the website, that will massively facilitate people's ability to find you.
Yeah, amazing. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, of course.
Don't do what everyone always does, is they try to overcomplicate and think, oh, I've got to get someone in to help me SEO my website. You don't need that. You do it yourself. This is grab a coffee, sit down for 20 minutes and do it yourself, and go on your website and look at your website through the eyes as if you were a potential customer of yours.
Yeah.
And just ask yourself, does this page convey what I do, like my area of expertise, and where I do it? And so for example, you've got, your homepage says, we are Crittall Interiors. I'd be saying, well, what is that? Crittall Interiors, you could get a sense of it from the name, but this is who we are. This is who we are, and this is where we do it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think then you can take that principle and apply that to your projects, your services, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I would definitely be doing that. Have you got any client testimonials, videos, stuff like that, case studies where you could share, with your clients actually saying how amazing it is working with you? Have you ever done any of that?
Not video, no. I mean, obviously just written testimonials, and there's Google reviews, but absolutely no video, no.
Is there any reason for that? Or is it just...
I don't know if my clients would be thrilled to be asked to go on camera.
Yeah, but have you ever asked them?
No, I haven't ever asked.
Then ask them. Why wouldn't you do that? Some of them will shoot you down in flames. Of course they will. I bet you some of them would do it.
Okay.
They'd love it.
I'll
if
have to have a think who might be up for it.
Isn't that a bit of flattery? If you went and said, oh, you're really happy, you're happy with the project? Yeah, loving it, right, great. Okay. You could go to them and just say, I bet you if you were to ask 5 of your customers, I would bet you anything you like, at least one of them would say yes.
And if you think about that, who that could be, and would that be just sort of for social media, or where would that be applicable?
Well, if you get a good video, again, if it depends if you get someone in to do it or if you do it yourself. But what you want to create is the best people that are going to advocate. Is other people saying how great you are, right? Yeah. That's we all want other people to say how great we are at what we do. So for me, that I would, if you create a video like that, I would absolutely have it on the website. I would absolutely slice and dice it, up for your socials. There's even an argument you could put it in for into an ad with retargeting, which I'll come on to. There's, one video, or if you get 2 or 3 clients talking about you, and then you have a video editor sort of slice and dice that up so you can get a mix of different people that are all sharing insights into, I worked with Alice, she did this, oh, it's amazing, cut with some what's called B-roll, which shows off your projects. I don't know, Darren, if you want to come in on this, but in terms of video, that creative to showcase people saying how great Alice is, but then also to show off, and here's what she did. Here's
absolutely.
how she transformed my house.
I think what you were saying about if you could have a couple of them, have 3 people, all sort of interlaced, going back and forth, maybe a little bit with you on there as well, talking about what you do and the process.
I'm Alice, and aren't I amazing?
Yeah, there you go. People love it when you big yourself up like that.
Maybe not quite as brash as that, but you get the idea.
But no, I think, as you said, B-roll, I was very impressed when you said B-roll.
Hey, see, I'm learning. Every day is school day.
And get a bit of B-roll on there. Have you ever thought about, because you say these projects take a long time, when we were talking about this in the pre-chat chat, have you ever talked about documenting that process?
Oh, that's an idea. That's a great idea.
In terms of photography
and video, just a bit of both.
Yeah, I do. I mean, the projects do range.
That's a great idea.
We were talking a bit earlier, sort of in terms of that range. I've had one this year that was a 2.5 month turnaround of a 5-bedroom property, which was completely nuts, but also kind of amazing because you just have to make really quick decisions.
Yeah.
And actually the client is then super focused and just, you can do things really quickly, which is great. And then there's another project that we're kind of approaching our third year, which is also lovely because you get to really develop the property and you work really closely with the client and you sort of become friends really. And yes, to answer your question, I absolutely have documented those with photo and video.
That's getting like,
that
weaving that together into a story.
Yeah.
And as I say, you could almost front it and go, so this client, first came to me back in this was their brief, this is what they did. And then you just document that story over months. That would be incredible.
So good.
That wrapped up into a 90-second, 2-minute sort of video would be so powerful. What a great way to show the full story from start to finish.
Call it like a designer diary or something.
Yeah, a diary of a designer.
He's good, isn't he? He is good.
There you go.
I'll be using that one. Thanks.
I like, that's beautiful. That's why he's here. See, he just chimes in every now and then with the gold. But that's beautiful. I think.
Sorry, just one thing to kind of flag on that. I love the idea and I'll be doing it where I can, but one issue that I come up against sometimes is that these projects, the bigger projects, are obviously content that I would hope to potentially get into some kind of print for some exposure that way. And most magazines don't want you to share any content of the project before they showcase it at all anywhere. And that can be up to a year. So that is something that I'm up against. And
yeah, I mean,
I can see how that could affect it. But I think once you've got a certain amount under your belt, then
it just becomes.
Then you're all right.
And also,
if you work a year ahead,
it's a long-term play. This is not. You're not going to be able to do this and suddenly launch it tomorrow. But as a long-term play,
if you just do it for everyone, then eventually you're going to always have something.
Exactly,
that's true. Yeah.
No, I like that. So yeah, I think that way of letting your clients do the talking for you and humanizing yourself on film, on video, if you're comfortable in front of camera, amazing. For small. Hey, you're on a pod. I mean, you're audio only, but you're on a pod, right? Come on. So you're stepping in the right direction. But I think that is good stuff. I think that really makes a big difference, particularly for small local businesses, because we've said it so many times, but people buy from people, and your service, it's a very. If I was employing you to, do some interior design for us because we're doing a project, that's quite a, it's a very personal service, and so I'm going to want to. The more I can get to know you and build up some know, like, and trust, and a bit of rapport and a bit of that feel comfortable around you before we've just started working together. That's an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think because design is such a personal thing. It's so subjective.
It really is. Absolutely.
So I think a lot of. I think being able to showcase you and your personality is just an extra entry point for people to latch on and want to work with you.
And you can use that medium to really get across we said in the pre-chat chat that you've got a style, you've got your type of interior design. You can get that across so that, and that will, some people that will turn them off. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Great, that's fine. I'm not for everyone. But actually, this is my style, and then it will really reaffirm to those potential people. Okay, Alice is the one for me. She's the person. She gets me. That's my style.
Because arguably, the people who that is going to turn away, we're never going to work with you anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. They just get to that conclusion quicker, which is great. Stops less time wasted. So I think that's really make sure you do that, because I think that could be a really powerful play for you. And then beyond that, I think there's a few other things. I think things that I would be doing if this was my business, or if you came to me and said, Aaron, how do I grow this business? I would be saying localized Google Ads. I think is we've got various clients that are very similar to yourself, small businesses, doing their first few 100,000 online, or maybe 500,000 or 1 million, or we've got some that are a bit bigger. But the premise being, they're all very local businesses. They're all people that are out local, meeting people, their connections are local, their customers are local, they're networking locally, and they operate within a very set radius. I've got clients that sell shutters and blinds. I've got clients that sell, actually one that does not too dissimilar to what you do, albeit in our neck of the woods, not in Cotswolds, but does interior design. Yeah. I've got clients that sell garden design, for example, and these are all businesses that are service-based businesses, that they provide a service within a set catchment area, and they are using Google Ads as one way of getting in front of people when they are actively searching in their local area. So for example, with you could be setting a target radius in the Cotswolds, Gloucestershire, around Stroud or whatever, that it says, well, if someone's looking for an interior designer, or, because some people will search for interior design, some people will be like, interior designers near me, interior designers in Cotswolds or Gloucestershire, stuff like that. So super localized, targeted Google Ads, for me, would be a no-brainer. Before we go any further, are you enjoying today's episode? If so, you'll love our other show, Tea Talks. They're short, informal chats where the Evergreen experts and I share actionable nuggets on all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy that we use daily when growing our clients' businesses. And best of all, much like this podcast, it's completely free. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, see the link in the description. Now, let's get back to it. Have you ever considered that? Have you ever looked into it?
Yeah, I looked into it briefly and then got carried away somewhere else. Sort of forgot all about it, to be honest. So yeah,
okay.
I think it makes sense to look into.
I think that. And I think what I'd be doing with that is, you start relatively small. So because you're not going to be getting thousands of people that are looking for what you do in your target area. As long as you localize it, you could probably start with £50, £70 a day. Kind of, level of spend. And that's going to, over a month, that's going to be 1,500, £2,000 a month in ads. That's kind of the minimum you would need to be, starting with. And then you would have to pay someone to manage it unless you do it yourself. So it's going to require an investment, but you don't need to be scared and thinking, oh, I can't do Google Ads unless I start spending tens of thousands. For you, because it's so localized, and as long as you set it up well and it's very specific, I'd be going after exact and phrase match terms. And you're going to do some research, you're going to do your homework or have someone do it to work out the right terms to go after and so on. And that's actually where, what you said, what Google Search Console is? Yeah, go into Google Search Console, look at the UK's data, and then look at how people search and find out, how do people search? Is it more interior design, interior designers, local, nearby? Do they localize it to Cotswolds or to this, that, the other? Have you ever looked into that sort of keyword data?
Not with this kind of intention, no. So I think that would be super useful for sure.
I would do that,
because that's going to kind of as the framework for the localized ads.
Exactly that. And don't overcomplicate. Keep it simple. The art of this is the KISS analogy. Keep it simple, stupid. You don't need to overcomplicate. You don't need to go and go, all right, I want to do Google Ads and I'm going to dominate the world. No, I just want to run Google Ads so that I can, if anyone is looking for an interior designer and they're within half hour, an hour of me, I want them to know that I'm about.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you could do that. We've got so many clients which they're only spending, a couple of grand a month, and they're able to keep their brand top of mind and drive people to pick up the phone or to the store or to the showroom or to get in touch with their businesses. And they're all within a very set target area. Very simple to do, very effective, because you're only going to come up and you're only going to spend money when people are looking in your target area. So if they're not looking, you're not spending money. It's only going to be when they're actually actively looking. Yeah?
Yeah.
No brainer. So I'd absolutely be doing that. What else would I be doing? Retargeting. This is a recurring theme. I almost need a bell every time I mention retargeting because it's pretty much every episode. But retargeting is, do you understand the premise of retargeting?
Just talk me through it, please.
It's to understand it. So you can do retargeting on pretty much any platform, but Google and Meta, so Facebook and Instagram are probably the most prominent two for small businesses. And the premise being very simple: you can keep your brand top of mind for those folks, because as you said, so if someone's thinking about employing an interior designer, that's not a decision they're going to just make. They're going to wake up this morning and decide, oh, Alice is the person for me. They're going to be looking. They might do a bit of research. Now, what I'd be doing is I would be running some localized Google ads to get people that when they're looking in your target area, you pop up. Then once they're on, if those people are going to visit the website, I'd then be doing the content play, the video, the things we've just discussed in terms of humanizing your brand, using video, using case studies, using some clients to really showcase, hey, this is who we are, this is what we do, using the website to reinforce that optimization, the things we've discussed. So it's very clear. Someone goes on the website, oh, Alice, interior designer, I can see her projects. Oh, I can listen and hear what our customers say. Oh, I can see some of her projects. And I know this is what she does. And she's in my neck of the woods. Great. But I then leave because the kids start screaming, or I've got to make dinner, or I've got to do the school run, or whatever. Then wouldn't it be nice if you had the ability to, the next day, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and then I see a little ad that pops up from you that it says, hey, it's Alice from Crittall Interiors. Here's some of our recent projects, or here's we're running a special offer, or here's our get in touch to see this, or whatever. Lots of different ways you could approach it, but the idea being it's like nudge marketing, it's prompt marketing to get your brand back in front of those people. And again, you're only going to be going out to people that have engaged with you, been on your website, engaged with your socials. Therefore, because you could also use all the people that engage with you on social media, so they comment on your posts, you could target all of those folks with a very targeted ad. So again, it's local people that have shown an interest in your business, and it's a way of just keeping your brand top of mind for those people. So that as the months trundle on, and they maybe revisit, oh, we're still looking for that interior designer, or we still haven't found who we're looking for, or oh, our project's nearing completion, we now need to start thinking about an interior designer. All those different stages they're going to be at, if you're there to just prompt them. Because otherwise, if you don't do retargeting, you put all this work and effort into the website, but you're relying on them to take an action in that moment. Most people don't.
Yeah.
And again, with retargeting, very, very cheap to do, because you're only going out to those people. So I've got a handful of client examples that I could share with you where they're local businesses in and around Oxfordshire, where we're spending a couple of grand a month on ads, £1,500, something like that on ads. Very, very targeted, because they're doing like a 10-mile, 5-mile radius, some of their campaigns. And then they'll be spending 500 quid a month on Meta. So they're all in for 2.5 grand, 3 grand a month onto their ads. And we are able to keep their brand top of mind for the tens or hundreds of people that are actively searching or considering buying their product or service every single month. So it's not, so over the course of a year, you're probably going to spend 30 grand a month on a year on ads. Then you've got some management fee on top of that. But as I can give you some live client examples. We're able to then add X amount of hundreds of thousands worth of revenue, and their total cost in terms of investment into ads maybe looks like 50 or 60 grand across the year. And you see how that becomes a no-brainer for business, because we're not going out to the masses. We're not trying to get in front of everyone. We're saying we're going to just tap into the people that are within our target area and are actively searching or interested in buying what we have to sell. That's what you should be doing.
Okay.
Yeah? So to recap, website, you need to go in and update and just make sure that every page, the page title, the heading, all the subheadings really say, this is what we do and this is where we do it. Then put video and client-based stuff littered throughout it as much as you can. And then I would be seriously considering localized Google ads within your target area, but using the GSC, the Google Search Console data, to tell you how best to optimize that. Are you better targeting, or what gets more search? Cotswold terms or Gloucestershire terms or this, that, and the other. Run some really local, and then I would still target all of those terms, by the way. I wouldn't just choose one or two of them. I'd target all of them. And then keep a close eye on your search terms to see what data Google gives you.
Yeah.
And then you can optimize that. And then some retargeting ads for once those people that have been on the website, that have engaged with your socials, you can then stay top of mind with those folks.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like the 3 or 4 things that I would be doing to grow this business, to take it up, a few notches. Are you doing any email marketing?
Yeah, I've got a newsletter that goes out every 2 months.
Okay. And how are you getting people to sign up to that newsletter?
Just through the website. So there's a subscription box that pops up, and anyone who'd like to kind of be in the loop and get.
Where is that? I've not seen that.
If it's on, it should be on every page when you go onto it. You get a little pop-up window.
Let's have a little look. No. Oh, it's down there. Yeah, when you scroll down the page, stay in the loop.
Oh,
Right, that was hard. That was hard to find. I'd be making that more prominent. Do you get many people signing up on that?
We've got a few. I think for me, I this is where it's kind of like the limitations of doing everything yourself is because I have a view on pop-up windows on websites that irritate me. Yeah. And so that's why I've kind of popped it away down at the bottom so that it's a bit more discreet and it's not so annoying. But I suppose from a marketing perspective, it's not the best approach.
Kind of devoids the point of having it, right? It's no point of having something going, I'll have it, but I'll bury it. What's the point?
I'm not getting it at all.
You're not seeing it. It is on there. Dan, I just went incognito and had a look. It is on there, but it's very much buried. If you scroll right down the bottom,
I'm scrolling to the bottom on every page and nothing's coming up with me.
This is not good, Alice. This is not good. It's what?
I'm desperate to sign up for this newsletter.
He wants to sign up. You've got a potential sign up. Someone's going to sign up. So what you could do?
Fix that straight away. When we
all right, there's your homework. Yeah. What you could do, but if you don't, if you're not a fan of pop-up, is you could just have it elsewhere on the website. It doesn't have to be a pop-up. You could just put it across maybe in the top banner. You could have something that runs on the bottom section of the page, so it doesn't pop up and interfere with the user experience, but it's just there for those folks that want to sign up to engage. But I would make, because I think making data capture a key part of what you do, alongside, particularly if you're going to start running Google ads and start doing more of this stuff, you're making data capture is going to be a key. But again, you will get more people sign up by having an incentive. So incentivize them, write an ebook or have some tips or a guide or something to incentivize people to sign up. Would be good.
That's something that's on my to-do list and has been since January to do a lovely little PDF of kind of some top tips and ideas and things.
Exactly that.
And offer some some freebies basically. So I think it's just kind of finding the time to do that, and that's where this is where I become unstuck, because I am, I'm a small business and I'm doing a lot.
Yeah. And I think spinning all the plates, right?
Spinning all the plates, there you go. Wearing all the hats, and I think that's something for me to just kind of figure out a little bit in terms of prioritizing. And I think this is why I'm on this podcast today as well, is because it's again, marketing has been at the bottom of the list, and it's actually like, I really need to.
Yeah, but do you know what?
To focus a bit.
Do you know what you need to do is, from the things we've covered, and you'll be able to watch and listen to this back and so on. But from the things we've covered, absolutely, you do not need to do all of them now. You can't do all of them now. So what you need to do, prioritize them. Just, marketing is one of, as you say, all the other things you've got to do. So make yourself a to-do list, but make it realistic, and just set yourself a couple of goals for like the next 90 days. Because then, if I was looking at that list of things we've covered there, the website optimization, just going through and making sure does each page say what I do and where I do it, that is literally a 30-minute job that you could do with a glass of wine, done. Right?
My evening is sorted tonight.
There you go, right? This is beautiful. You come on the pod, you got an evening worth of stuff to do. So that, you can do that, easy, done. Then it's a case of going, right, you'd be testing your Google ads, your retargeting, find someone that can help you do it, and then you're going to want to test. You're not going to go, right, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to do Google ads forever. You're going to run it for 3-6 months. Right, we're going to test the water, we're going to see what we get. We're going to see if we get an uplift in inquiries. And so you can sort of prioritize, whereas some of the content and the videos, stuff, that's a longer burn. So if you prioritize, I can do this now, and then I can do that. I'll look at that next year, next summer. I need to, and by ticking things off, you're going to say, okay, I'm making progress. I can move on to the next and the next. So don't try and run before you can walk, essentially.
I think that's
break things down.
Yeah.
I think would work. But I think there's a few. I think a few basics. I mean, actually, I'm just gonna give it up for another idea. Hold on, I'm gonna have to search it. Hold on. So many ideas. Right, are you on? So you are on. I was just checking you had a Google business listing, but you do, yeah?
Yes.
Is that up to date?
Yes.
Good. Right, so you got 6 Google reviews on there, which are all 5 stars, which are great. It's always worth checking that your phone number, opening hours, address is all correct. You'd be amazed how many people leave that and it's then no longer up to date. So just double check that is correct. I would also, if you're going to do any retargeting, you need to what you want to make sure you do, or have someone do it, but you've got a few thousand followers on your Instagram and stuff like that. Make sure you set those up as audiences so that you could then, if you do run retargeting, you could retarget to those audiences. Because how powerful would it be if for your followers and then people that be on your website, you could then just say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing, and we've got this new service, or we're doing this promotion, or we're actively looking for new clients for 2025. That sort of stuff is it's a little prompt, great way of sort of getting, and you can do it, you'd be able to do it for pennies in the grand scheme of things. It wouldn't even cost you that much. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, great.
Right. You had some questions. Yes, go for it.
Well, the first one is blogs. So I don't know if it's still a thing. It was certainly something that people would say to me, I need to do. You need to have a blog. You need to have a blog. And I just wanted to hear your perspective on that.
Have you got a blog now?
Yeah.
It's your journal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you writing these?
Yes.
Okay. So, is a blog a good thing? Yes. Should you be doing it? Yeah, it depends. It depends why you're doing it. So, what you can do, again, I'm going to add to your homework. Sorry, I'm giving you even more to do. Right, so here's something you can do, and then you can answer the question for yourself. When you go, and this is for everyone listening and watching, if you've got a blog, because there will be, what you've just asked, Alice, is such a great question, because I can guarantee there will be so many people listening and watching this over the coming weeks, months, years, that will go, yeah, I've got the same question. Should I be doing it? Is it a good use of my time? Is it a waste of time? Should I be doing it? The answer is, go into Google Search Console.
Yeah.
Look at the UK, filter by UK, so you're only looking at the UK data. Then open the date range up to say, look at the last 12 months. And then what I need you to do is go to click filter. And then you need to, basically you want to filter and you choose pages. There's queries, pages, this, that, and the other. Click pages. And then what I want you to do is I want you to put in /journal/. Because what that's going to do is that's going to filter the UK data for the last 12 months, all of your organic visibility, just to show how many clicks, impressions, click-through rate, average position your website's had for all of your posts combined.
Okay.
And what that's going to tell you is just how little visibility you have, or how much visibility you have. And then you're going to be able to make a judgment call on, okay, I've had, and what you'll probably see is lots of impressions and very few clicks. And if you then remove that filter and compare that to your website as a whole for the UK for the last 12 months, you will get a perception of, right, let's say, keep the numbers simple. Let's say, okay, your website might say you've had 100,000 impressions and you've had 5,000 clicks. Let's just say that, right? When you filter by / pages by / journal /, which is in this case your blog, and by doing the / after the journal, so it's / journal / for some people it might be / blog / by having the two the / before and after it, you're telling Google, I want everything that runs and includes that URL parameter. Yeah? You following me, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. That is going to then bring up all of the pages, and it's going to tell you how many clicks and impressions. So let's say, from an example, you might have a website that's got 100,000 impressions, 5,000 clicks. If you then see that 100,000 drops to 4,000 impressions and that 5,000 clicks drops to 50 clicks, you're going to look at it and go, blimey, I've written all this content, done all this stuff, and it actually, in the last year, it's only generated me 40 clicks or 50 clicks or 100 clicks or whatever, compared to the 5,000 I've had for my website.
Yeah.
You'll kind of answer your own question.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
But what you should be doing, and the way to think about blogs, because I am all for blogs. I mean, my agency is called Evergreen because I am a massive believer in evergreen content. So I love content. I think content's great. I think video is a very powerful way to do it.
Me too.
Yeah, there you go. What you've got to be doing though, and what I'd be doing is, why are you writing content? If you are writing content to talk to your target customer, then it's a good thing to do, because you can write that content on the blog. You can put it up on your socials. You can drive people from your socials to your website, because you know you're providing genuinely valuable tips, tricks, insights, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
If you are writing because, well, Google likes fresh content, and I'm told I should have a blog, and I'm just writing, I'm trying to stuff keywords in there, then you are wasting your time.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, I would say it's more of the former. It's about kind of, I suppose, demonstrating my expertise and
Yeah.
as another way of doing that. And also it's for me to kind of think about things a bit more.
Yeah, and the art of writing is good. Just one more point on that. So in that case, if you are writing for your target, great. So then what you need to look at GSC, as I say, do that exercise, because that will tell you
Yeah.
what the rewards you're getting for the effort you're putting in, and that will probably be a bit of an eye opener for you.
Yes, well,
so you need to do
what I
that.
suspect.
You need to do that. Don't put it off. Go and do that, right?
Yeah.
But then once you've done that, based on what you see in there, what you then need to think is, if you're writing for your target customer, great, good. That's the first thing. You're not writing stuff that's just, because Google, there's loads of search for this. Who cares? You're writing for the target customer. That's good. But then what you need to understand if you're writing is, what is the primary placement for this writing? If it's you're not going to write an article and have it rank online and bring you organic traffic, right? So unless you write a seriously in-depth, detailed, real best on the web guide, of which case, if you want to do that, that's not something you're going to be able to write in a couple of hours. You're going to need to do a serious research piece, and you probably haven't got the time to do that. And when you do that long form writing, what you need to do is then choose a topic that you're an expert on, you know you can add value. You then go onto Google, you search for that topic, you look for synonyms, keyword variants, and you find what Google ranks at the top is what Google says is the best on the web right now for the topic.
Yeah.
You then search that in a myriad of different ways. You collate the best of the articles, the resources, the guides, the information on that topic, and you say to yourself, right, I need to write a guide that is better than all of these things combined. I need to raise the bar and make something even better, even more up to date, more informative, more creative, whatever it might be. And I need to raise the bar on what's already there. Because if you look at that content in Google's SERPs, the search results pages, and you say, blimey, that's really good, I couldn't better that. Don't even bother. Because what's the point? Google's already got what it thinks is the best. If you're going to write something inferior, what is the point? So you don't do that. If, however, the content you are writing is the purpose of it, and going into it is, I am writing content primarily for social because I want to whack it up on my Instagram and my Facebook and that on my LinkedIn to showcase I'm an expert in my field. That's great. Write that content, send people to it, but just know it's not going to rank. It's the primary purpose is to drive people from social.
Yeah,
but what that will do is it will make you write differently, because you'll write more that's more social led and stuff like that.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I think that is probably more where I'm comfortable anyway. I'm not a writer, a professional writer, and I don't want to be. And it is more about just sharing information with people who have eyes on me anyway. So and that's maybe getting a few more people to kind of have eyes on me.
Exactly. And if it's exactly that, and I think that if you have it with, and you put in, if it's content for your LinkedIn's and stuff like that, that's going to be, then do that. But just make sure you repurpose it. Don't just do it and then publish it once and then never visit it again. I would be putting these on a round robin, and you're making a couple of classic mistakes in here. So what I'd be doing, I'm going to choose one at random. Let's have a look. So you've got your six interior design. Sorry, when I get going, I just like stop.
Yeah,
right.
Carry on.
You got one here, 6 interior design trends.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So that's good. That's perfect for your socials. I'd be turning this into a carousel for your Instagrams and your LinkedIn, stuff like that, because that'll work really well. Drive people back to it. Positions you as an expert, as you can provide some insight into interior design trends. That's fine. What you want to, as a best practice, don't include it was too late now, but for going forward, don't include the year in the URL.
Okay.
Because you can make your content essentially called Evergreen you could have it in the title. So you could have 6 interior design trends for 2024. But if you hadn't included the URL, what you could do is you could just go 6 interior design trends. You could come back into this piece of content. You could update it for 2025. You could maybe sprinkle it with a few more insights, trends, and updates. And you've then got an evergreen piece of content, which is a staple resource that doesn't have the year appended to it, only in the title, which you can easily fill about. Because if you change the URL to 2025, you'll need to apply a 301, and it's doable, very doable, but it gets a bit more technical.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that. So try and make, when you're writing these things, write around themes, but don't try not to date them. So like the next one, the 6 ways to make it cozy or turn up spaces, brilliant. That's spot on. because it's not, that would apply, someone could read that in 10 years from now and it still be as relevant.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So yeah, stuff like that. So hopefully that's kind of answered that on the blog. But you
Yeah,
go and have
great.
a look at GSC anyway, because I think you might be surprised. And what you can do is you can click into the URL, and then once you to the specific URL. So whichever one's at the top that's got the most clicks, the most impressions, click that URL, and then click queries, and it will tell you how people search and found your guide, your blog, and you can use that to better optimize the page or the post, but also use that as maybe if it's a question, which is often the case, you can pose that as the lead in for your LinkedIn post to go, have you ever thought about X? Or what would you do in this scenario? It's that. Pose the question. People will be more inclined to read it when it comes to socials.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm just looking. I think a lot of what you've been saying has answered those. I suppose... no, I think that's it, actually. I think you've answered pretty much everything.
Are we good? Are we all talked out?
We're good. We're all talked out. Let's
well, look, do you know what? It's been a pleasure. Hopefully it's been useful and you've taken away some little bits and pieces there that you can implement into the business. I think it's great. You're not far away from us, so keep in touch. When you make these changes on the website, do let us know, because I'd love to have a further look at it. And thank you for being on. Hopefully it's been useful.
Thanks for
and
having me.
Best of luck with it.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Good. Keep up the good work. Thanks so much, Alice. We'll speak soon.
Speak soon. Bye.
Take care.
Now.
Take care.
Bye.
Oh, she was lovely. She was lovely.
That's great.
Really liked her being on. It's good. I like businesses like that where you can just see so many areas for just make little improvements here. I thought your idea actually was spot on. I love that.
Just came to me.
Just do it well, quite. But I think, as you say, doing a little bit of video, a bit of creative stuff like that, doing the basics well, and
do what others won't.
There you go. Do what others won't. Exactly. And I think, as you said, I think there's a lot of small businesses get quite, with Google Ads, intimidated. I think it's quite a good word. Yeah. Of that's a scary thing, Google Ads, and it's actually most of our clients are not this, but, we've got some of them now that they're local. They are just going, look, if I can just be visible within a 15 mile, 10 mile, 15 minute radius of where we are, that's going to be amazing for my business. Because people are actively in our target area, they are looking, and then they can search, and then they can pick up the phone. They can have a phone call. They can go to the showroom. They can go to the store. They can, get in touch. I mean, Alice could literally then, phone them. Oh yeah, I'll meet you at the coffee shop.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And if they're actively looking, why wouldn't you do that stuff? Amazing. But she was lovely. Yeah. So hopefully she'll take that and implement that. And another happy, I was going to say customer, not customer, podcast guest. There you go. Hopefully you found this one useful. What have we got to plug today? What should we talk about?
What don't we have to plug?
I'm going to talk about my newsletter, so Tea Break. Very nice. Comes out every Thursday.
I could do with one of them right now.
Every Thursday at 11 a.m. I send my personal insights and paid media ideas to your inbox for free, that lands at 11 o'clock, and you're very welcome to sign up if you have found the content today useful.
It's completely free.
It's completely free, and it's a recap of all of the content we've put out that week. So it features the most recent podcast episode, the recent Tea Talk, the most recent Uncut. It's a little treasure trove of goodies.
One-stop shop.
It is. And then you have that with a cup of tea and you're on your merry way.
Have a tea break with your tea break.
You've had your content fill for the day. There you go. But yeah, so if you haven't signed up for that, sign up for that. We've got a few thousand people on that now. It's incredible.
Wow.
Which is really good. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on the next one. I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Ta-da.